And we are back. This is Ted Hicks, Late Night Parents. Ways to follow the show, latenightparents.com. On a brief hiatus. But we do this with the best tag team partner in the world, Richie V.
Tag, I'm it. Teddy Ted, what is happening, man?
What's going on, man? It's been a minute.
Since we have sat together across from each other at this desk.
But
it's been a while.
See, even when we're not across from each other at this desk, there's another desk we're across from each other.
Exactly.
So it's kind of like we talk and we kind of bring from work
to here
to a pod to here
and back and forth.
And back and forth. So a lot has happened since we last joined. I will say this much. Belated Happy Father's Day to you.
And to you, my friend.
And to none other than Brian Graves.
Belated Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's
Super
Day.
Producer Brian.
Yes. So, okay, we covered Father's Day.
That's it. Okay.
Yeah.
We're only 2 weeks later, whatever it was. So,
Happy 4th of July?
Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Oh, it didn't happen yet. Okay.
Soon enough.
Okay, it's still June.
Yes.
Okay. Juneteenth?
Juneteenth.
I don't know. So, lots going on in our worlds. Psyched up for Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Very.
Psyched up for, I don't know about you, we'll get into later on. If you got a chance to start binging Luke Cage.
I started Luke Cage.
Season 2.
Saw episode 1 just last night.
I just started watching Daredevil.
From the beginning?
From the beginning.
Okay, good.
From the beginning.
Okay.
On a serious note, there's been that Family Separation Act.
Yes.
The immigration discussion, which is split America.
Well, it has split America.
It's kind of like the two-way discussion.
Like everything else is splitting the country these days.
Everything is just like right down the middle. If I say one thing, you're soft on borders, and you're a libtard.
A libtard, yeah.
And if it's the other way, then
you're a heartless beast.
You're that conservative. That what's so sickening is the fact that these laws have been in effect for a while.
Correct. These are not new laws.
This is nothing new.
Right.
What our friend and president did was put them into motion.
Right. He's enacting in ways which have just never been enforced before.
Right. And it kind of gives you that feeling of, remember, let's say about a year to 14 months ago, all the airports were flooded. People were protesting, and there was attorneys everywhere.
Yeah, all over. Yep.
It's just like there is no, hey, let's half-step our way into this, or
You got to go all the way.
You got to go all the way.
You're all the way
turn
in.
the faucet totally on.
And do it.
And then you got chaos.
Right, which is what we have now. So that's how we end up with little children being torn from their parents.
Oh, my goodness.
What are being portrayed, and possibly rightfully so, as almost like little concentration camps, almost internment camps for little kids.
We were watching that on TV, and every cable news station was just showing kids in cages, wrapped in aluminum foil. Insane. Now, there was some of this during the Obama administration.
Again, this is nothing new.
Okay,
right.
But I'm just saying, it's.
There's a way to enforce it, and a way to do it the right thing. Now, I don't know. Do you have to go to it and say, well, then, if the parents are getting caught, but the law states that the child can come in, so now you're splitting them up at the border. Do you say, all right, we'll just don't let anybody in until paperwork is processed or whatever the case may be? Or do you have to, soften it and let everyone in and process them after they get in? I mean, there's still, we are, let's be real, we are a sovereign nation, and we do have to protect and monitor and control our borders, like any country does.
Well, I mean,
every country does.
Correct. And, you could say the word open borders, which is another lightning rod
Right.
term.
Right.
Oh, you want open borders? I don't know. I don't know about you, but just seeing the images
Yeah, of little children.
and hearing
that
the
shouldn't
audio
be. That shouldn't be.
of, the parents ripped from the kids,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then you got
Shouldn't
some
be.
parents that are saying, "No, I wasn't ripped from my child."
Right.
You have 2,300 children separated. No. We returned 500 of them.
Right.
Wait. They're in New York now. The kids are in San Diego.
And then de Blasio says, they're in New York?
They're in New York.
Wait a second. I didn't know that.
Oh, my goodness. Listen, we're not laughing about the
No,
plight
not at all.
of the children. Because I know
Not
someone
at all.
is going to call whether during the show or after the show.
Please do.
And
Call up.
Give Brian an earful,
And
give
then-
Jeff an earful. Talk about, well, what were they talking about at 7 o'clock?
No, that's why they play that disclaimer
Oh,
just
that
before we get on the
disclaimer.
air.
Right. It's like those two buffoons were on there talking about yada, yada. And Brian just says, hey, I just work here. You know?
I just adjust the volume. I press the button. What they say is on them.
Oh, my goodness. So you got a little bit of that.
Yeah.
This is Late Night Parents. Ways to follow the show, latenightparents.com. Like I said, we're just getting in stride because we haven't done a live show. So there's been I think Memorial Day happened.
Yes.
And then we just went from one holiday to the next. And then...
It's been what, 3 weeks?
Yeah.
A month?
About a
3 weeks?
month.
Yeah.
3 weeks to a month. What we were doing was we were giving Brian an early summer vacation.
That's what it was. Giving him a break. He can
all
just
he
press
had to
that
do,
button
press the button and go.
and walk away.
But Rich, you got Disney, you got Comcast, you got the battling for Fox. All the above it looks like it's Disney.
It's Disney. I mean, so now what are we going to see happen in, call it, 5 years? That then they have to get broken up. It'll be like AT&T all over again.
Yeah, it's gonna be a
They
monopoly.
become the monopoly. All right, split it up.
Split it up.
3 different companies out of it. Well, this is just a
That's
never-ending
where we're
cycle.
going.
Never-ending cycle.
Wouldn't be such a bad thing in 5 years.
No, I don't think so either.
Wouldn't be such a bad thing in 5 years, but I don't know. It's the fight for content. A lot of people think with my narrow mind was the fight for the regional sports networks.
Okay.
Because the winner of this gets 22 channels and gets access to 59 sports teams.
Right.
In the NHL, MLB, and NBA.
Now, see, I kind of think that the bigger question here
Mhm.
is now, where does net neutrality, or the lack of it, fall in all of this?
I was about to say there is no net.
Exactly.
There is no net.
There is
neutrality.
none.
But when you
So-
have potentially a cable station or an ISP saying, "Hey, we're going to make XYZ available to you guys," and then, "Oh, you want access to this other content? Well, we're going to slow that down.
Right.
We're going to put you in a different lane."
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that all comes into play. I think what they're fighting over is international rights, Rich.
Okay.
Sky TV
Okay.
out in the UK.
Out in the UK. Okay.
You're looking at all those channels out there. Yeah, because the space out here in the U.S. very crowded,
Mm-hmm.
but you're looking at the cable providers outside of the U.S.
South America. What's that? I forget the name of that big, not Novotel, big South American cable provider. They must be also in the mix here.
Oh yeah, I mean, I know Sky is one.
Yeah.
is huge, and like I said, to be able to have sports, have news outside of the U.S.,
Mhm.
adding that into your package, if you add it into a U.S. package,
Mhm.
I mean, it's something that's very interesting. I mean, they're talking upwards of $70+ billion.
That's no small amount of money.
No, not at all.
Many countries with less GDPs than that.
Want to ask you about? Well, it's is it Pride Day or is it Pride Parade Day? I know the Pride Parade was taking place in New York City.
In the city, yeah.
And also in London.
Was it London as well? Okay.
Yeah.
It was in the city.
I'm sure that won't make too many GOP folks happy.
No. But, you know, that's even... Well, again, we have blinders on in New York.
New York, San Francisco.
Right. We're used to this, you know.
Cali.
Nothing wrong with it. I mean, you know, sure, go out there, celebrate. We've seen all the extra parades, Halloween parade, things like that, which are also focused in different lanes. But Pride Parade, sure, get out there, be proud of what you are, who you are.
It's true.
You know what roles you fit and don't fit, where you want to be. Sure, no problem.
I just think it's good to just be yourself.
Right.
And not be afraid to be yourself.
Right. And not be punished for being yourself.
Right.
That's it.
You know, I mean, I don't know. I could tell you over the years, we've talked with everyone. It's the one good thing is being able for 4 weeks to not be here live and have a library of interviews that haven't even aired on the station.
Press play. We'll be back. We'll be back in another month.
Big shout out to 92.7 WRAQ, upstate New York, that also airs Late Night Parents. Shout out to WGBB.
Right here in New York.
Right here in New York.
Out of Merrick.
And
Freeport.
Hey, I don't know where I was in Queens, and I turned on 95.9.
Yeah.
To see if I can get a signal. I was like, this little rinky dink.
Did you get it?
I got it. It was clear.
Nice.
It was clear.
Was it picking up Flushing?
Probably.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Also broadcast out of Flushing.
I mean, so I was really, really impressed. I said, Brian!
I can hear us.
But a lot of stuff to talk about. This is Late Night Parents. Ways to follow the show, latenightparents.com. Rich, you were at an event that I was unable to attend because my son had his 5th grade graduation.
Congratulations there, Nehemiah. Nemo.
He pulled it off. This was a tough one. 5th grade was tough.
You know.
Had to drag him across the finish line.
Busy young man that I know he is.
But I wasn't there, and we had invitations to PEPCOM.
Yes.
I haven't been to the last 2 PEPCOMs because of scheduling conflicts. But I remember being at the one, I think it was around Christmas time.
Okay. Yeah, I missed. I think I missed that one.
Yeah, because it was the spring.
Yeah.
And this is, I guess, the summer. So, what was your interpretation of PEPCOM?
So for those who aren't aware, PEPCOM is an industry technology fair. Big names, little names. Mostly it ends up being, equipment, hardware, software, items that are going to either just hit the market or will be hitting the market within the next quarter. So, you get out there. There were about 50 vendors at the location this time.
So it was a nice turnout.
It was a nice turnout. I went looking specifically to see who's in the mobile, in the home video monitoring and the mobile video marketing segment. Saw a couple of good products. I'll have to do a write-up and throw it up online on latenightparents.com. So a nice product called Owl, especially. This was a vehicle video security solution. Small device, sits in the windshield. It records video, pushes it up to the cloud. It monitors movement in the vehicle, automatically captures a certain amount of time. And they immediately, they've got items where, in situations where as soon as they install this thing in the car or someone gets it installed, they happen to get broken into, clear video of the person right away, caught him, a couple hours later because the police had the picture. There he is right there breaking into the car. Wow. Small device, so you can leave it in the car and it's mostly out of sight. It was really good, so I'm going to write up about them. But with PEPCOM, it's not a sales thing. It's not. I won't say it's very, very hands-on. You have the representatives there from the manufacturers. They have the items. They have information to give out. Lots of handouts. not as many this time. Not as many demos as there have been in the past.
Okay.
Still lots of information though. So you missed a good one, but there's also always CES around the same time. Well, the New York little CES, which was at the Javits, which happened to be at the same time as PEPCOM this time.
Oh, okay.
So there was little So I think that's also why this might have been a little smaller at PEPCOM. A lot of vendors were up at the Javits.
I know when it was. I'm gonna say when it was cold. So, but I can't say when it was cold because it was cold at the beginning of this
Right.
month.
Yeah.
Okay. So around about Christmas time, I think the last PEPCOM event I attended, somehow had a scheduling snafu, and they ran up against Amazon, and it was on the same block, downtown Manhattan, same block. I don't know, 2 buildings away.
Oh man, so forget that.
Oh my goodness, and it was in this cramped environment.
Was it at the same place at the?
No.
There wasn't at the pavilion.
No, it wasn't at the pavilion.
Oh.
It was at you don't want to say it was like a juke joint or something like that. But
wait, was Amazon at the pavilion? Is that what happened?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Amazon had the pavilion.
Okay.
And PEPCOM didn't.
Okay. Well, PEPCOM has been really, really good in the past. We've been to great.
They have, and they've been really, really good to us.
Scheduling is scheduling. That's what it is. But I will say, after getting through some emails later on, there was a CES invite in my mailbox. Not a freebie, but a discount ticket. To the New York one.
We're going in November.
I hope so. Out in Vegas?
No, November.
The one here.
The one here at the Javits.
I hope so. I hope I get another one.
We'll make that happen.
Let's make that happen. Someone will make that happen for us if we don't make it happen for ourselves.
Come on.
We got to get to the big CES and the Javits. That's the nice show to be at. But PEPCOM is good too. So thank you, folks at PEPCOM and the marketing people from the various vendors.
Yes. Hey, want to let you know that this Thursday, the movie Searching. Sony. What do you know about? We not only got an invite for the movie. It's going to be in Deer Park, New York.
Right next to my neighborhood.
Okay. Free passes.
Get out.
And if you click on the link, we'll put up a blog post later on. And this is primarily for our listeners out in Long Island. The Late Night Parent being sponsored by Sony.
That's it. We'll put it out there, and we'll see
the movie Searching, which is this Thursday, 7 p.m. Unlimited passes for us, just for us. Every time you download that pass, you get up to 4 seats.
I guess the wife's going to the movies. Oh wait, Thursday.
No,
she's not. Well, 7:00. If it's a 7:00 show, she might. Yeah, she could.
So the movie itself, pretty good premise. Basically, after Daniel Kim, his 16-year-old daughter goes missing. Local investigation is opened, and the detective is assigned to the case. But 37 hours later, and without a single lead, David decides to search the one place no one has looked yet. Dun, 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 dun.
The laptop.
Where all secrets are kept today. His daughter's laptop.
Okay. It sounds like a decent premise. Sounds like a modern day, investigation movie. Father goes off. The police are quote unquote the bumbling police. So the father goes and takes care of it himself and starts to track things down. Okay. I'll go for that.
In a hyper-modern thriller told via the technology devices we use every day to communicate.
So we're gonna get the Twitter, the little or whatever they'll call it.
His daughter's footprint before she disappears forever.
Dun, dun, dun.
I don't know. I think it's a good premise.
I think so too.
I mean, it's a good freebie for us. It's in your backyard, Rich.
Yes, it is. I go to that theater all the time.
And since you'll be one of the hosts out there,
I'll be out there. Anyone listening, go to our on Facebook, Late Night Parents, and we will put a link up there. I guess when's it going up this evening? If it's not already there,
this evening.
Link will go up this evening. Click on the link, and
Blog will go up. Link will go up. We'll paste it everywhere. Go download your free passes.
I don't have a Late Night Parents T-shirt out, or I'd wear it out there and be like, listeners, where are you?
Where are you? Hello, hello.
But seriously, if you can make it, come out there.
The power of the BGBB.
And all those other affiliates who are rebroadcasting us around the country.
Around the country.
Around the world.
The globe.
That's right.
In the UK.
In the UK. Hello, UK.
Hello, XRP Radio. Hello, the Underground Radio. Hello, Life Improvement Radio. Hello, UNIR1 Radio.
And he's doing this off the top of his head. No list in front of him.
Hello, I-95 Sports Radio. What else? About 15 others. All right. So, with
TV.
that.
Streaming. TV.
Streaming, TV.
What have you... We got time?
Yeah, in about 5 minutes, we're going to have our buddy Danny Thompson is going to join us, our NBA insider, to talk about who was the steal of the NBA draft and the topic of tipping picks.
Tipping picks.
Tipping or tipping picks?
Say that 3 times fast.
Yeah, I don't know if I can. Streaming, Rich. What were you going to talk about?
What have you been watching?
I told you, man, I've been watching. I'm psyched about Luke Cage season 2.
Yep.
But I took it back to the essence, and I am watching Daredevil right now.
Daredevil, good show.
The first 2 seasons I'm checking out.
Good show. First season is really good.
The second season, I'm like enjoying it more than the first
okay,
season.
Good.
You know, with the Punisher, with
yeah,
Elektra,
Punisher,
with that story, I'm like, man, this guy. I mean, this show is running circles around all the other shows.
Like, what happened to Iron Fist?
I don't want to spoil it for anyone. Iron Fist does make a cameo.
Yeah.
During Luke Cage.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they did that for a reason, because he turned off so many people.
That's what I mean. You know, that series didn't go the way those of us who remember Iron Fist from the comics initially didn't go the way we thought it should.
Right. Where was the costume?
Well, that costume, let's face it, that bright green and yellow.
Yes.
We'll see him running down New York wearing that. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know. But, hey, have you watched any of Westworld this season?
First episode of season 2 I've watched. I just started watching the last couple of days.
I think I watched the first 5 episodes.
Okay. All right.
And that was after binging season 1.
Okay. So you went right through it.
I went right through it. It was easy. But I think, like what you've said before, kind of, not totally, but kind of like Game of Thrones type quality. It
is. It's some of the best produced show, considering, again, it's not on a major network as per se. I mean, HBO is HBO, but you know.
But I'm saying there's something to say about these HBO and these Netflix type shows because they don't need your sponsorship dollars.
Right. Where are they getting the money from?
The subscribers.
Still, I mean, you hear the numbers being bounced around, like the Netflix numbers. How many billions?
6 billion.
That's a lot of money.
6 billion this year
in production.
Oh, I forgot to tell Brian.
Yep.
That we have someone joining us in 2 minutes.
Okay.
I forgot. It's been such a long time. I fell out of routine.
And he has the number to call in?
Yes, the gentleman has the number to call in. And that's Danny Thompson. But getting back to that, the quality of those shows and the fact that when you don't need sponsorship dollars, so you don't have to do the backflips there.
Right. It's yours. Develop it as you want. Go the route you want to go.
That's the one thing that I want for this show, for us to go directly to HBO. I mean, two dope queens can pull it off.
Why can't we?
Why can't we? Why can't we get a first look?
We got to get the video going.
Why can't we get a first look? 4 episodes.
Yep.
Good to go. For me, I mean,
like Vice, who's Adidas, and
yes, Miro. Come on.
There we go. That's us.
Come on, that is us.
20 years ago.
Yes, 20 years ago, and a lot more polished.
Yes, a bit. Yes,
a lot more polished. Not taking shots at them.
No.
Raw,
yeah, but that's their hook.
Yeah.
And they put forth a good show. So no questions about it. It's entertaining.
That's true. But you were right. 20 years ago.
Yeah, that was us.
I mean, oh my goodness. But yeah, there's a lot to be said about that. Was going to ask you? I was going to ask you about, and I forgot. Oh, I was going to ask you about real quickly, and we'll go to it. We'll go back to it later on.
Mm-hmm.
The BET Awards. You watch? Do you not watch? Do you watch the highlights?
Almost all of the awards recently, I've become a highlight watcher. Or, for BET Awards, because, you'll see someone who probably put on a good performance, so it'll be background, on the side, on the TV, while I'm doing something else, and if I hear something I want to see, I'll watch. But I doubt that I'll watch it exclusively.
Gotcha.
It'll be background noise.
Do you even record it anymore?
Nah. No. There's no need to, because, the highlights, you're going to be on YouTube.
That's true.
Or BET.com.
That's true.
Or Facebook or wherever, and you catch it. You'll catch the performances. Or
at least the performances that you want to see.
Right. And it's going to be rerun about how many times?
Yeah, about 50 times.
Right. Today.
Today, tomorrow, for the next week. Rich, I got to tell you this much. I know you're not into sports as much as I am.
Nowhere near.
Okay. But I will tell you this much. This past week, watching the NBA Draft. Really exciting because it's like playing a game of chess.
Right. Okay.
Because you got GMs, they're in their war rooms,
mm-hmm.
who's getting traded,
mm-hmm.
what existing players are getting traded, who's moving up, all the above. One of the best people that I've known over the years, past few years, to put this together is our own Danny Thompson, who's out of Orlando, Florida.
Hot and humid.
Hot and humid, and he does a lot of work with the Orlando Magic.
Oh, really? Okay.
So as, you have a lot of people, you have these beat writers, you have these bloggers,
right.
and they're phoning in their reports from home.
Right.
He's actually there.
Nice.
So that, to me, that's very important. That's those are actual boots on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
So Danny has been on several radio stations. He's working on a few things. You can catch him on his iHeart channel, all the above. But we got a quick hit from Danny. Got 2 questions for him. First question is, who was the steal of the draft? And the number 2 is it tipping picks?
Or pick tipping.
Or pick tipping. But none of the, on the line we had Danny Thompson. Danny, how you doing?
Hey, Danny.
Wow, what an intro, Ted. Rich, appreciate being on the show tonight. And well, it's pick tipping, not the tipping of picks. It's pick tipping.
Okay.
The same as cow tipping. So we're going to call it pick tipping going forward.
Okay.
To answer your first question, really the steal of the draft. I would say there's 2 steals in the draft. Number 1 was Michael Porter Jr. Sliding down to Denver at number 14. I had Porter Jr. as the second best player in the draft. He was number 1 player in the country in high school less than a year ago. Unfortunately suffered a back injury literally not even 2 minutes into his college career at Missouri. Had a L4, L5 surgery in his back. Missed the majority of the season. He came back at the time for the SEC tournament and played 1 game in the NCAA tournament. So I think it was like 3 games he played. Wasn't the same player, but, with injuries and coming back, he had little practice time to actually get himself reacclimated with Missouri. He declared for the draft. And at the same time, when his back injury happened, there was medical red flags everywhere. The back supposedly checked out 24 hours before the draft. There's reports saying that he might need a second surgery, which will keep him out the entire season. Teams were scared. He slid from, I said, number 2, I have him at number 2, down to 14 at Denver. And Ted and Rich, if he's healthy, the Denver Nuggets have the best pure scorer in the entire draft. And literally a guy at 6'10", with the scoring capability of a young Kevin Durant at this early part of his career.
Danny, got to stop you right there because yes, Michael Porter Jr. has the ability to be that game changer. We don't know where he's going to come in and at. Tell me your thoughts behind him having a workout and then shutting it down. Did that help? Did that hurt? And were the medical records made available easy, or was it kind of like the bait and switch?
Really, it was one of those, okay, he had the workout on Friday. Yeah, so he had 2 workouts scheduled in Chicago. The first workout went phenomenal. And at that point, I say he shut it down. They said it was a hip injury. For me, I think it was a shutdown because what more you need to show? And really the slipping happened, when the second report came out, and one said that there was one or two reports said that it was a medical red flag. One report said that he might need a second surgery on the L4, L5. And at that point, Ted, we've watched enough professional sports, and Rich, you might have as well too. When a medical report comes back on a prospect saying that there is a potential for surgery or something that's not going to be good going forward, it's going to scare everybody away.
Right.
And that's the reason why the Knicks and you guys in the area took Kevin Knox, who is a small forward from Kentucky, over Porter because the problem, the scary fact is Porter might not play next year. And with Kristaps Porzingis at least missing half the season, you're going to have potentially your 2 best players not even play for half the season.
Okay. So tell me the drama behind the most powerful voices in basketball. If you ask me, I say Adam Silver. I say LeBron James. I say Adrian Wojnarowski. I say, of course, Shams and Marc Stein. So I give you those five names. The last 3, what went on with the chaos? Give us some backstory on the NBA draft in the last few years with picks being announced before the actual draft announces them, before the commissioner announces them. Give us some backstory on that.
Well, for the last few years, going into this year, the draft picks have been, especially with the infusion of Twitter and how powerful social media is, it got out that guys like Adrian Wojnarowski, Marc Stein, David Aldridge, Sham Sharina at Yahoo, Chris Mannix, a lot of the heavy hitters who are really involved in the NBA were able to tweet out the picks before they were selected. And so the NBA, we're like, it's kind of hard to watch the draft. And it takes away from the intrigue of knowing who's being picked when 3 minutes before Adam Silver hits the stage that the pick is already made. So this year, there was kind of a peace treaty between the NBA, Yahoo, and ESPN, especially their writers on both sides, saying, okay, there'll be no pick tipping. And everything was in place to have no pick tipping. So everybody can watch the draft and stay off social media and just watch the draft. Well, there was one Marc Stein, who was a former employee of ESPN last year, was one of the best writers in the business, who was laid off at ESPN. At the same time, Woj, who left Yahoo, joined ESPN. Marc Stein is now with the New York Times, now one of the most well-respected NBA writers you're going to find, one of the best in the business. Well, Marc Stein started tweeting out the picks, starting with the number 1 overall pick during the middle of Adam Silver's speech to start the draft. Stein then tweeted out the pick of DeAndre Ayton and then the second overall pick of Marvin Bagley before anybody watching the draft, including ESPN, was able to announce the pick live. At that point, it became gloves off at that point. Shams Sharina at Yahoo started tweeting out the actual picks, and Woj, keeping true to form, tweeted the picks, but he technically didn't tweet the picks. And so, guys, what I mean by that is that he would say that the third overall pick, Atlanta is enamored with Luka Doncic, or Jaren Jackson and Memphis have a mutual like for one another. Trae Young and Atlanta seem to be a great fit for one another, or seem to be destined to be together. So officially him not tweeting out the picks was him tweeting out the picks at the same time. It became a social media frenzy, and me being in the war room in Orlando, in the media room in Orlando, we literally were comically laughing up until I think he stopped around pick 26 or 27 with the pick tipping. It was probably some of the best 2.5 hours on social media you're going to find. But yeah, the whole idea was for nobody to tweet out the picks. I don't think Stein tweeted out anything early after that, but he got his point across that point. It made for great social media drama during the draft.
Danny, as always, we want to thank you for joining us. Tell us the best ways to follow your work, read what you're talking about. You've got a great show on Facebook Live. But tell us about everywhere else. Tell us about around the association.
Thank you guys. As always, Ted, it's always a pleasure. Rich, thank you guys for coming on, for me on tonight. You can find me on the podcasting side. My podcast is called Around the Association. It's on iHeartRadio, so just type in Around the Association, as well as Spreaker. The best thing about my pod is it's only 12 to 17 minutes per recording. I do record multiple times a week. I actually just recorded one today about the Southeast Division and the draft. You can follow my work on the web at AroundTheAssociation.com, as well as Facebook, which is Around the Association Radio. I do Facebook Lives very frequently on the Facebook Live side of things. I do release articles. Like I said, I do podcasting. And like I said, I do cover the Magic for Florida National News, as well as the site as well, too. So, guys, it's always been a pleasure. And, Ted, I'm always on if you need me.
You got it. Thanks again, Danny.
Thanks for joining us, Danny.
My pleasure, guys. Have a great Sunday.
You too.
So that was Danny Thompson.
Pick tipping.
Pick tipping. But I like tipping picks.
Well, using pick tipping to tip picks.
At one point, Adrian Wojnarowski said the Knicks are tantalized by Kevin Knox. And I'm like, okay, what is this?
So, I mean, is this legal? Is it
legal?
Unethical?
It's legal, but the NBA asked them not to do it this year. Because in previous years, the one thing that Danny didn't mention, previous years, when Woj was working for Yahoo, he was 4 and 5 picks ahead of the actual league.
So announcing who the pick was. It hasn't gone out over the air yet.
And, when he used to be on Yahoo, Yahoo would show on their stream his Twitter feed. Right. So, he's up to pick number 9. They're on pick 4.
And they're only broadcasting number 4.
So it was kind of like, So to the point where you have GMs that are saying, hey, Woj announced we were going to trade two of our picks for this.
But he just got picked by so-and-so.
Or he didn't get picked, so we don't have to trade. And so is that unethical? Yeah, kind of. Yeah. Because, everyone has sources. Rich, want to talk to you about routers.
Yes.
Want to talk to you about VPNs.
Yes.
Want to talk to you about, this constant back and forth about reboot your router. What do I do? Everyone nowadays has a router.
Yeah. If you've got a computer at home connected to the internet, you've got a router.
You've got a router. Some folks have the router is built into their modem.
Right.
And for the most part, those software updates are handled by the internet service provider.
Correct.
So that's kind of like set it and forget it and walk away.
And hope that your provider takes care of these firmware updates on the router like they should.
Correct.
You're still at their mercy.
Correct. And I say this because I am a Verizon Fios user.
I am a Optimum user.
They reboot my router just about every night.
Really?
Around about 3 o'clock.
Really?
Yeah, because you can tell I'm sitting here and I'm streaming, and then there's like a slight hiccup. I'm like, what's going on? So I'm going out over to the ONT, I'm checking it. I'm going here, I'm pulling this up. I'm looking on my phone, I'm going to my phone's provider.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, I can get internet, but okay. And then I look at the
They're at it
modem
again.
itself, and it's
And it's
cycling,
rebooting,
cycling
lights are
through.
coming up and everything.
So, some of us that have modems have that routing capability built in.
Yes.
What about the folks that don't have that routing capability
Well,
built in?
you know, this part of this is going to go back to what we have been saying every couple of weeks now since we've been on the air.
Over and over and over. Not only, it even predates
Oh yeah, well it predates
this
us.
station.
Oh yeah,
With us leasing time with this station.
Yes.
You know, and I think our 2-year anniversary is either
soon.
it's either come up or has already happened, because I think it was May.
We have to go back and check
Gotta
that.
go back, but
But
so
the big thing.
so
What's the latest news? So, and it's funny, I did catch the Netgear folks when I was at PEPCOM, and I asked specifically about this issue.
perfect.
What I'm referring to is the malware that's out there that, well, you know, we'll take a half a step back. About 2 weeks ago, if you were, monitoring any technology news, you would have seen a message, basically a recommendation by the government, reboot your router.
Reboot your router.
There's malware out there.
Delete your account.
Sell your soul. Turn everything off. Disconnect. Get off the grid. There's software out there, malware out there that is attacking or specifically going after the routers.
Okay.
Called VPN filter. That's the name of this malware.
Yep.
So many older and middle-aged routers were susceptible to this, and routers. Now the vendors knew about this. Discovered this isn't. It wasn't all that new. Just that it was that is just proliferating the way it was. So what happens is it could get into your router, and then it can lock your router out,
Okay.
so that you lose control. And then if the attackers out there in ether wanted to, they can just send another command to it, make it unusable.
Okay.
So if you don't understand what make it unusable means, you won't get on the internet. Everything you have that's connected to the web dies.
So basically
your
everything
home
in
is
your
off,
home.
off the grid. Correct.
Everything in your
Correct.
home.
You are off the grid.
Home security, all the in-home tools and technologies, everything's just offline.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
And it's not like this is, 20, 30,000, 40, 50,000 affected. 500,000
Right.
globally.
Okay.
So what you have to do now, you can fix this. You can take care of this if, as we've been saying so many times, and your vendor, has been taking care of it and monitoring, update your firmware.
Okay.
Update the firmware in your router. This issue is addressed in any router. I don't know how old it has to be, where the cutoff is, but it's all the recent brands. It's if you're a Cisco, Asus, all the big name brand routers. All you have to do is update your firmware. Find the manual for your router. If you don't have the manual, go to your router's manufacturer's website, look for the manual online, update your firmware, and you can take care of this. Okay, you can isolate yourself from this issue. But still, there's always the case of, well, you don't know, or if you have an older router, you can't do it, or if it's still there, and you don't want your traffic and data monitored, you still, the other thing we've been saying, install a VPN, buy a VPN, so that your network traffic is secure. No one else can see it but you.
Okay.
And we've been talking about that for a while now. There are a number of vendors out there you can do that, but that's just going to encrypt your data and make it. Nothing is 100%. I no longer will say you make it 100% safe, but it will make your data safe from prying eyes.
Okay. So I want to ask you a hypothetical question.
Mm-hmm.
This is Late Night Parents. Ways to follow the show, latenightparents.com. Rich, the hypothetical question is, you are a vendor provider.
I am a vendor provider.
Okay.
Okay.
So you sell the Richie V router.
Okay.
You have 1 million customers that have registered.
Yes.
Is it on the specific hardware providers to reach out to their
Registered users with an email? I think they should.
I think they should.
I think that should be because isn't that one of the reasons why you collected that data in the first place?
You would think, right?
So that if you find an issue, you can say, "Hey, we found this is a problem. Here's the fix. Do this."
I mean,
why wait for the end user to find out and be like,
right,
trying to contact you and look for an issue? Let them. I mean, it's not like you're admitting weakness or anything like that. Let's face it, this stuff happens.
But isn't it simple to just, here's a web page, we're going to create some steps, here's our communication,
yes,
quick blurb, here's the link for the additional steps
to me and you, that sounds simple enough.
Right.
To you and I. And I don't know, you have to think, I don't know if any of the vendors have started doing this. I mean, yes, obviously we're seeing all of this again in the news. But, vendors have taken some steps over the years to try to make some of these things more difficult to happen. Like, remember the good old days when you plugged your router in and, if you left the default password there, all was good and you kept on using it, right?
Yeah.
At least these days, default password is prompted to be changed.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Again, Netgear, like I said, I had a conversation about this issue, and they said, yeah, we're doing that now. You plug it in, it's going to ask you to change your default password.
Oh, that's good.
As part of the initial setup. It's like, makes a whole lot of sense, right? Because I know I can still just go to, pickyourvendor.com, model default password, admin, or 1234.
Right, right.
And we'll work on just about everyone's router.
Of course.
So, I mean, you really, you have to think of it as your computer, when it's connected to the internet, it's connected to the world. And just like you wouldn't at night leave your door unlocked or put the code to your garage door on a piece of paper stuck to the top of the garage.
Right.
The same thing. You want to put in the minimal steps to provide yourself with some sort of security. Because, again, everything is connected. Once you walk in your house, sure, you're in your home, you're connected on your network, but, your phones, your TVs, your refrigerators, all of your computers, every mobile device you have, everything is connected online. And you want to secure it as much as possible.
When that actual article went out, I received 5 separate calls.
What's this and should I do it?
What's this? What should I do? What are you thinking about this? Mm-hmm. Give me, I just want to hear from you. What do you think about this?
Right.
I'm like, and that's where I had to do some digging with each of the people, and it got down to the point of, okay, so is it a modem or is it a router?
Right.
What do you have?
Or both.
Yeah. Do you have something connected to it? And that's where the conversation kind of spiraled to, people having repeaters in their homes and not understanding, thinking that's a router, and it was it's painful.
Yeah, well, the terminology, if you're not someone, granted, because everyone has these devices in their home now.
Right. Repeater, extender.
Router, modem. People have a little more of a grasp on these things than they used to. But still, some people just use them, interchangeably.
5-10 years ago, it was...
Right. I got a router, a modem, a what?
A what? a
modem.
Switch.
Yeah, a switch. A hub or switch.
Right, right. So, you kind of wonder. I had to do a little bit of homework.
Yep.
For each of the specific people.
Okay, yeah.
And the best thing about it is, we don't even charge for stuff like that.
No.
It's just like, that's a little bit more education for end-user education. But that's when I start to push back and be my ornery self.
It's not ornery. Your time is valuable.
No, but ornery to the point of, what are these hardware providers doing?
Right.
Do you have a statement?
I haven't seen anything out there yet.
But, if there was a software issue and it pertained to affected Apple, Microsoft, Google,
they'd be all on top of it with emails, notifications, Windows updates, Microsoft, Apple updates,
right.
Immediate updates out of sequence, and this is what we do to fix it.
Hey, I want to just real quickly. I went to the Microsoft store. I was in Roosevelt Field.
I've been there in a while.
I can't tell you the last time I was in Roosevelt Field.
Mm-hmm.
Walked in there, Apple Store, packed,
Always.
jam packed,
Yep.
to the rafters.
Yep.
Microsoft Store,
Crickets.
3 people in there. It was Nemo, myself, and the salesperson.
Oh.
So because Pam had went to New York and Co. And I was like,
Okay.
I'm not going there.
Right. Right.
Okay? So I said, let's go to the Microsoft Store.
Let's go.
Dude, I got to tell you, their hardware,
One looks gorgeous.
it looks great. The one thing that I was kind of a little bit pissed off about,
Mhm.
the VR section was tapered off.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And so I just pelted this salesperson with
Questions. Yeah.
VR questions. You know, the Lenovo versus the Samsung
Yep.
versus this model.
Yep.
And, you know, features, what you have to install versus what's coming in with the headset.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think I'm going to get me a VR headset.
I'm on the fence.
I think I'm going to get me a VR headset, but I was thinking the Lenovo for $199, and
That
I
ain't
said,
bad.
nah.
There's gotta be a weakness to it. That's
yeah,
too cheap.
it's too cheap.
So what
It's
is
low
the
end.
weakness?
It's just low end. It's like, you know, go to 349 route,
Right.
and then you start to deal with the upper echelon. But I wasn't able to kick the tires on it in the Microsoft Store because it was tapered off. Just like, come on. How do you sell this type of stuff?
So go online
How do you sell this type of stuff?
at Microsoft. I tried to buy. I went to the store
tried
in
to
Roosevelt
buy.
Field, and I couldn't even touch the equipment.
I couldn't even touch the equipment.
Put it out there.
The salesperson was pretty helpful,
Put it out there.
but I'm like, and this is during the daytime.
Wow, that's kind of surprising.
This is during the daytime. Whereas the Apple Store, you can go in and kick items and all
Rows
this
and
other
rows
stuff.
of items.
Rows and rows of items.
See, VR, I need the killer VR app.
Gotcha.
There's nothing yet. There was a game I was thinking it might have been the one for me, but I backed out of it. I was like, nah, I don't need it. Not really gonna play that much. That novelty will wear off. So I'll have to wait and see what gets me onto the VR bandwagon.
Okay. I'm just thinking.
Yeah,
I'm just thinking.
sure.
I'm like, I don't have to use my phone. I don't have to use this. I don't
Yeah.
have to use this. Oh, but you have to install X, Y, and
All
Z.
kinds of stuff. Exactly.
Oh, you have to connect it to a PC.
And what is the stats on the specs on your PC?
Right. So you got to go to the Microsoft site, and you got to click on the, kind of like
The recommended hardware. Checker.
yeah,
Yeah.
the hardware checking and everything else like that. So, I don't know.
Well, computer at home. What are you running now?
Windows 10.
Hardware.
Oh man, I
Processor.
have an old Optiplex 380.
So you're not going to do VR in that anyway.
No, and then I have like an all-in-one unit. So
Not doing VR in that either.
I know. So and then I'm looking at the Lenovo notebook that I have, which is beefy,
Yep.
but it's not new.
What video cards in it? Because that's the key. It's got besides, i7 obviously for processor, video card. That's what's driving VR.
You got a beefy video
You
card.
gotta have a beefy video card. See, I'm kind of at the end. Oh, that's the other thing though. Right now, so when I built it, my machine this is the longest I've gone since I've been in technology on one computer.
Yeah.
6 years. My computer is 6 years old now. It's time.
Yeah.
It still runs great.
Yeah.
I have upgraded video card and power supply since I initially put it together.
I don't know. I know we're getting ready to close out of here.
Yep.
I don't know if I'm going to get my next computer is going to be another MacBook
Okay.
Pro,
Okay.
or I might go the Surface route.
Surface Pro
I'm
2.
Thinking.
Nice machine.
Thinking. I'm telling you.
I gotta find a way for my employer to get me one.
Yeah. I'm telling you. Telling you. You got to go that way. Covered a lot today.
Yeah. It was
Covered a
good
lot.
being back. Haven't been in the room in a long time. And
I
then
know.
next week, we talk about the 26th.
26th. Oh, yes. We talk about the 26th next week.
Next week, yes.
Next week. But we're going to push out the free passes.
Yes, that goes out tonight.
That goes out tonight. We'll also share it with our friends at GBB,
Yep.
and also RAQ. What else? I think that's about it. Best ways to catch you?
At Late Night Rich.
And I am the real Ted Hicks, and we are out.
Good talking with you, everyone. Thanks for listening. Catch you next week.